स्टार्ट
स्टार्ट करूया. ओके. गुड इव्हनिंग फ्रेंड्स. रेखा सरांका म्यूट करी एक्सेप्ट फॉर मी.
हे अनम्यूट
Yeah. Good evening friends. Thank you and welcome to everybody to today's Guru Prasad health session. Every time कले start कर सुरू एक आम्ही प्रार्थना म्हणता ती. So I will say a small prayer wishing everybody a good life and safe and happy life. So here I go. वक्रतुंड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा. गणपती बाप्पा मोरया. सो आयज प्रोग्रामची अशी विंगड आसा बिकॉज आतां ताई GP हेल्थार जालेला आहे वेरियस आस्पेक्ट्स ऑफ पर्टेनिंग टू हेल्थ, पर्टेनिंग टू युअर डायट अँड ऑल दिस. आज आम्ही थोडे विंगड खावच्या विशयान घेवचे आसा ती. So we have with us Renuka Nadkarni Atangdi. Renuka, can you just, so people who are not, yes, she is Renuka and she is Rekha's daughter. So we are very proud to say that. Okay, तुम रेणुका विषयान एक थोडे सांगता दोन शब्द आणि ताज मागीर रेणुका will take over without my wasting more time. Renuka Nadkarni Atangdi is a journalist turned public relations professional. Her day job with India's largest PR firm involves developing communication and reputation management strategies for a wide range of brands. At heart, Renuka is a student of all things pertaining to food. She has been blogging for over 10 years now and goes by the name Pinch of Salt. Well, brand name, Pinch of Salt. Wonderful. Apart from this, she also runs a successful Instagram page, curates recipes, and takes food orders over weekends. Renuka focuses on using locally grown seasonal ingredients and is also studying Indian regional food currently. Renuka also likes to travel and explore international cuisines. Wonderful. Today, Renuka is with us and she'll be talking to us about a mindful eating. What is mindful eating? She will explain to us and how it is this mindful eating has helped her in making changes towards leading a healthier lifestyle. I mean, it's a wonderful subject. So here, Renuka, I will hand it over to you. You will take this session hereafter. तुम कल questions असल्यारी Renuka will take those questions and answers after the session is over. Over to you, Renuka. All the best. God bless you and thank you very much.
Thank you, Subhash ma'am, for that very generous introduction. Okay, so we are going to talk about mindful eating today. Amma, can you just start sharing the screen? Okay, so while Amma shares the slides, I want to talk to you about what mindful eating is. And I'm sure a lot of us are very curious about what it is and why are we talking about mindful eating. So mindful eating, very simply, has its roots in Buddhism and Zen. It is a concept where you eat and where you consume something being fully aware and understanding of what is in front of you. So for instance, there's something very famous called an apple meditation, which is one of the basic things about mindful eating, where it says that even if you're eating something like an apple, you don't just you don't just chomp on the apple, but you eat the apple by savoring each and every bite. You look at the color, you enjoy the sweetness of the apple. When you hear that crunch when you bite into an apple, you enjoy that sensation. It involves using all your senses, it involves understanding where your food has come from. And why I chose this particular topic is because while I have been into food and cooking and obviously eating for a very long time, this is something that's helped me change my perspective on food. And I thought, it would be a good idea to share it with you. Next slide. So we're going to talk about a few things today, and at the end of it, I will also show you something very simple that everybody and anybody can make at home with using some very basic ingredients. I understand we might not have access to a lot of exotic ingredients, so I've chosen something very, very simple today, and I will also talk about how you can use this, for various things in your daily life. So, moving on to the next slide. Okay, I want to start by asking all of you, how does food actually make you feel? If you've eaten, say, a heavy breakfast, a nice South Indian breakfast, or if you indulged yourself in some burgers or cake, or if you had some very healthy salads, how does it make you feel? I just, if some of y'all could just respond.
I feel nice because my stomach is full, particularly.
Okay.
Yeah,
Fair
I feel
enough.
nice. Yeah.
Okay. Anyone else?
You can unmute and talk if anyone wants to talk. Unmute yourself and
We feel good because there are a lot of varieties and it's very light food.
Okay.
Lighter, relatively lighter.
Okay. Okay, fine. So let's go on to the next slide then. So one of the most important things is to understand what we eat. And the first thing to that, Amma just click. The first thing to that is to understand, like when I asked you all, how do you feel about food? Um, both of you didn't give me the same answer. You all gave me different answers, right? You said it makes you feel light, while Subhash Ma'am said it makes him feel nice because his tummy is full. But what's important to understand is that the food that we choose it for many reasons besides just hunger. It's not only hunger. And that's one of the main things about mindfulness. Something that you choose to eat is influenced by so many different factors. It could be about how you're feeling at this point in time. It's a lazy Sunday, you might want to indulge yourself. Or because it's a lazy Sunday, you might want to eat something which is very quick. If you're staying, say, somewhere near the coast, you have great access to seafood that influences what you eat. If you're staying in a place like in a tropical country like India right now, mangoes are in season. So obviously we reach out for mangoes as the first choice. It also has a lot to do with the way we're brought up and the kind of food that we have grown up eating. So, for instance, if you come from a family which eats a lot more rice than a lot more chapatis, ultimately you will find that rice is your comfort food. You find yourself reaching for rice because it's already wired inside you that rice is my first choice. The other thing about food is that your experience of food is always different from what it is for somebody else. The experience is never the same for two people. Simple thing. For instance, if you take something as simple as dali toy, all of us are familiar with it. Dali toy and rice is comfort food, ultimate comfort food for everybody. But your one person's perception of dali toy and the other person's perception of dali toy will be very different. Suppose I am going to serve dali toy to a friend of mine who is, who say a Punjabi. The person might not understand what the fuss is all about. Person might appreciate the food, but will not understand what the fuss is about because their comfort food is probably rajma chawal. So your memories, your upbringing has a lot to do with the kind of food that you choose. For instance, for a lot of us, eating a banana leaf is the easiest thing to do. We know how to ensure that, if somebody serves us sar sheets or rasam sheets on the banana leaf, we know what to do to make sure that the rasam doesn't, drip off, right? So a lot of things are involved in the entire process of food and eating. It's not just picking something and just, just stuffing yourself with it. And I'm guilty of doing that myself because, when you're working, you just end up looking at the laptop or the phone and just putting something inside you. But food is just a lot more than that. So, Amma, just click. Okay, so, like I was saying, what works for you may not work for someone else because we're also at a stage where there are so many different kinds of diets, so many different lifestyle choices, so many ingredients that we have access to. But if something works for me, it's not necessary that even if we're in the same family, the same thing works for somebody else. For instance, using ghee might work for me, but using ghee might not work for somebody else in my family because that person is supposed to consume only a specific amount of calories, or maybe in general ghee doesn't work for that person. So that's something that's important for us to keep at the back of our minds, that everybody's relationship with food, everybody's perception and understanding of food is different and it's never the same. Click. So also what's important is to understand, to listen to your body. When you eat something, or whether suppose you're trying something new for the first time, just listen to your body. What is it telling you? How do you feel after that? For instance, I'll give you a simple example. Let's say, and this might be a little too colorful, but let's say chana. For a lot of people, chana doesn't agree with them. It causes gas. Okay. However, for a lot of people love chana. It doesn't cause gas for them. It makes them feel perfectly fine and nothing happens to them. It could be the way it's cooked. It could be the time of day that the person is eating it. It could be what the person is eating it with, or it could simply be that it just doesn't agree with you. So it's important to understand what agrees with your body, what doesn't agree with your body. However, at the same time, also bear in mind that probably because of certain health reasons, medical reasons, you're advised to eat something. That time, don't say, "Oh, this, my body is telling me that I don't want to eat it." And that's a complete no go. Next slide. So at the end of it, eating well is a form of self-respect, and this is one of the basic principles of mindful eating. There is a Vietnamese monk who's spoken a lot about mindful eating, and if you want, I can share the name of the books that he's written, which is very interesting. And according to what he said, eating well is just a form of self-respect because when you eat something, you're nourishing your body, you're nourishing your mind, you're becoming more aware of what's in front of you. You are you're actually respecting the food that's there in front of you. So even very simply, in a lot of our traditions, before we eat, we say a prayer. We say that we're thankful for the food that's in front of us. That is being aware. That is another form of respecting what is in front of you because you're taking that 2-3 seconds to be fully aware of what's in front of you and then eating what it is. Next slide. So now I'm going to move on to talk about how actually I made the change to mindful eating. What are the different things that we've incorporated in our life that has slowly changed over time? One of the things that is very important is to learn what works best for you. For instance, and I will give you a lot of my personal experiences here. I have seen that eating a good breakfast, particularly Indian breakfast, works very well for me. If I eat something like a cereal or oats, it never fills me up. So I would rather eat a poha or upma or something like that. And even one cup of that, and I'm very happy. Next. The other important thing is, especially in this day and age where everything is so convenient and so easily available to us, one thing that I've consciously started doing is reading labels. When you start reading labels, when you start reading about what is mentioned on those, for instance, just pick up a packet of biscuit and read what is there at the back of that under ingredients. You'll be quite surprised. Even if you pick up a simple packet of, say, chivda and read that, you'll be surprised to see the amount of sugar that actually goes into it. Now, when you realize what is going into your food, you'll start becoming more aware and you'll start making more informed choices. Next point. Another thing is, I know we had a very interesting session on millets some time ago, and making that switch, whether it's to whole grains, to millets, you'll find that the way it, fills you up, or the kind of experience that you have with it, in the sense that if you're replacing your rice with millets, it could probably have a it could probably help you feel more full. You might start eating lesser, therefore probably helps you when it comes to your weight loss or your other health goals. But at the end of the day, all these whole grains, millets, etc., they come with something very important, which is nutrition. And understanding what they bring in terms of nutrition will help you make that informed choice about why you need to or why and how you can incorporate something into your life. Next point. An important thing for me has been, a whole combination of tradition, science, and ancient wisdom. So a lot of people say, eat like how your grandmom used to eat. If there's something that your grandmom does or used to do, just blindly follow it. If you go to even one of the most learned food scientists in the world, this is what they'll tell you. Just eat it that way. But if you break down and try to understand why are they saying so, you'll realize that it's because the way our ancestors used to eat, that involved a lot less processes, a lot less breaking down of the nutrition where food is concerned. Food was eaten as close as possible to its real form, and all the eating happened in terms of seasonal eating, local eating. They always ate what was available. The meals were probably very basic, but they were all very complete meals. In that sense, they gave you the nutrition that you want, or what your body actually needed. A very simple example where tradition is concerned: why do we end our meals, like at least for most of us, why do we end it with some form of curd or curd rice? A lot of us automatically reach out for that bowl of dahi to end our meal. Why do we do it, and why does also our ancient science recommend that you do it? That's because what it does, it kind of settles your stomach. You may have eaten something heavy, it settles your stomach, it makes you feel lighter. It completes your meal. Also, another important thing is something like a dahi has what we call probiotics. Now, probiotics are the good bacteria, very simply put, which are in your gut that help digestion. So whatever that you've eaten until now, after you finish it off with a bowl of dahi or curd rice, you're actually activating that process of digestion. Another example is when you're eating something a little heavy, or when you're eating something which is non-vegetarian, you'll often find that onions are served with it. Why is onion served with it? Now, onion, on the other hand, has two factors why it's served over there. While it's usually like a traditional, I mean, it's like one of those combinations which are, it just comes together. You go to a restaurant or something, you'll see onions placed on the table, particularly in a North Indian restaurant. Now, why that happens is also, one, onions are what we call prebiotics. Now, prebiotics is what helps the good bacteria in the gut get activated. Therefore, onions also have an enzyme which starts your entire digestive process. So, when you're eating something heavy, the reason that you have onions with it is so that it helps you digest these things better. Now, now think of the various things that are served with onions, and you'll understand why an onion appears in a salad. An onion appears when you're eating something heavy. An onion appears, when you're having, you have your pickled onions, which is served on the table when you're eating something, like say a butter masala or a tikka masala or something like that. Now it'll start making sense then. Next point. So this is something that I've been doing for quite some time, is opting for what is local, what is fresh, and what is seasonal. So for instance, like right now, of course, mangoes are in season, and all of us, I think most of us here love mangoes. I don't think that there are too many people who don't like a mango in some form or the other. But there are also other things right now which are in season. For instance, the raw mango. Why do we make aam panna during the summers? Of course, I mean, besides the fact that it is extremely delicious, but the other reason is also that besides being loaded with vitamin C, uh, raw mango also has certain minerals which help you combat the heat during summer. So if you're out in the sun and you have a glass of ampanna, it actually brings down your body temperature and helps you, helps you from sort of preventing get you a sunstroke or a heat stroke or something like that. So eating fresh, eating local, eating seasonal, apart from having its nutritional benefits, also has benefits in terms of where your food is coming from. If I'm going to eat, say, and I know since most of the people here are from Bombay, everyone will be familiar with the green garlic or the lilu lasan that we get during winters, popularly used in the undio. Now you get this during winters, and try and eat that as much as possible, because uh, you firstly you get it just for a gap of say 6 to 8 weeks and not more than that. But also uh, it's fresh at that point in time. If you try looking for green garlic now in the market, you're not going to get it. Similarly, if you try looking for cauliflower in the market now, you're not going to get it, unfortunately, because of a lot of hybridization, GMOs, etc. We start to get things all around the year. But that's, I mean, it's a completely different subject. However, coming back to the point, using what is local, what is fresh, what is seasonal also ensures that you get the nutrition from the food in the right form. It also, if you know where your food is coming from, for instance, if you're buying from a particular market, you're buying it from a particular farmer, then you're also ensured that what is coming to you is as natural as possible, and it's as undiluted as possible. Next point. Okay, so this is actually this has become one of my favorite topics over the last 1 year. Yeah, last 1 year or so. So, sometimes we say, I'm not feeling okay in my stomach. I'm feeling a little nervous, and I'm feeling that in my tummy. The thing is, you're not actually feeling it in your tummy, you're feeling it in your gut, because your gut actually has the same kind of nervous system that your brain does. So there's a lot of research that's happened where this is concerned, and the gut is often called your second brain, because there are things that you can sense, there are things that you can feel, and you say, okay, I'm feeling it near my tummy, but that's your gut actually telling you a lot of things. Now the reason why you'll hear that over the years a lot of people talk about probiotic, prebiotic, gut friendly food, fermentation, etc., etc., is because your gut thrives on bacteria, and it thrives on good bacteria. And feeding your gut with all the good things, of course, I mean, it'll also help you have clearer thoughts, but at the end of the day, feeding your gut with all the good stuff also helps you where your digestion is concerned, where your other health issues are concerned. So, very important to include certain things in your daily life which help you feed gut bacteria. It could again be as something as simple as a bowl of dahi. it's we don't need, I think as Indians, what we've realized is that you don't need to look too far for anything that's fermented. The pickles that we have are all fermented things. Buttermilk is another great source of fermented food. So, feeding your gut has a lot of benefits. I mean, uh, I will be happy to share certain books that I have read, names of certain books that I've read. So if somebody wants to read those, you can go through those as well. Next slide. Okay, so now I'm going to talk to you about how the the points that I showed you in the previous slide. How did I actually put it into use? So, homemade has become the first choice for both my husband and me at home, and I think the last 1 year has just reinforced to us that whatever you want to eat outside, you can make it at home. There, with probably a little more effort. Now we've learned enough shortcuts to make sure that it happens with lesser efforts, but you can definitely make whatever you want at home. And I think that's been one of the biggest blessings of the lockdown for us. Amma, click. So also, we've started incorporating a lot of processes like fermentation, which I spoke to you about a little earlier. We've started making our own pickles, our own masalas at home. And even if it's something that we cannot make at home, we make sure that we buy it from somebody who either makes it at home, or we know how the person is making it, because we want to be very sure about what is going into our food. Again, being aware is one of the most important principles of mindful eating. Amma, click. Okay, so this is just something that we made a few months ago when both of us were craving tacos. There's no way that we could have made tacos at home, so we used something very simple, which is a jawar bhakri. We had some pepper chicken at home, hung curd, onions, and some greens. Very simple, very filling. But you look at it, it looks very fancy. It's not. It's something extremely basic. The next one, this is some what I call my fermentation station at home. There's always something or the other fermenting, and the reason that I'm doing this is, of course, I mean, I'm experimenting a lot, but we're also seeing what are the different things that we can start making at home instead of just buying them from outside. The first thing that you see there is a strawberry hot sauce, and the strawberry hot sauce is nothing but strawberries, chilies, salt, and a lot of garlic. So then I've used certain seasonal ingredients like your ambe halad, the green garlic, the green peppercorns. Tried to preserve them so that we can use them for a little longer. Now, what happens with all these things sitting at home is that the minute you want to make something which is a little fancy or something that requires a little bit effort, you have all these condiments that are available. And if you invest some time in making them beforehand and keeping, having a meal that is a little richer in terms of nutrition and extremely rich in terms of flavors becomes very easy. For instance, when I'm making rasam, for instance, I use the green peppercorns because, I mean, it's just there, it's just easier to use it. The strawberry hot sauce goes on our sandwiches, it goes into our omelets. We've just put it on toast and we've eaten it. But it gives you a lot more flavor than you would out of something which comes from a bottle, and you know exactly how you made it. So it's a win. Okay, so for a lot of y'all who might not know, my husband is into bread baking, and he's taken to bread baking for a very long time. So bread is something that is basic at home, and since we've started experimenting with bread, this is one thing that we've stopped buying. So now I know it's not something that's possible for a lot of people, but I'm just saying that these are some changes that we've made at home, and it's worked for us. So again, I'm going to go back to one of my favorite things, which is eating seasonal, eating local, eating traditional. So this is a scene from Matunga Market in the month of December. Of course, I bought all of these things, and we've used them extensively. But the point here is that when you go out and actually go buy your veggies, you'll see what's in season. You'll see that it's a lot more appealing. You'll want to buy a lot more things, and using this in your meals, using, say, with just to give you an example, with the turmeric, the ambe halad, and the green garlic that you see there, along with the lime, we've used it in a salad dressing. We've grated all of that, squeezed lime into it, and shaken it up and used it as a salad dressing. So there are different ways to use what's seasonal, and sort of use it in your meals every day, little by little, and you'll find that when you introduce something different, it automatically becomes far more tasty. It becomes something that you want to look forward to. And also, the other big benefit that I have seen of eating seasonal is that you know it's the color. Just look at the colors in this picture and you know exactly what I'm talking about. So if you go to the market now, unfortunately, what most of us cannot do, but if you go to the market now, you'll see hues of yellow with the mangoes. You'll see a lot of greens that have come into the market right now, and just that whole thing of incorporating as many colors as possible into your food will give you fiber, it will give you nutrition, etc., etc. But at the end of the day, all of us eat with our eyes first, right? And when you see something which is colorful, which is appealing in front of you, you automatically want to eat, and you want to eat a little more. Okay, so we are going to move into a slightly different mode now. I'm going to demonstrate to you something that I learned some time ago, and this is very simple. This is called the Rai Panika Achar. So, Rai is your mustard, and this is, while it's an achar, it because the process is a pickling process, but it's something very simple. And what I have seen is having a jar of this is is very handy, because when you have something pickled, you could either use it when you're having, say, a paratha. You could have it on the side as just some veggies on the side. You can add this to a salad. You're making a wrap, you can add it to that. You can add it to a sandwich, etc., etc. I mean, the uses are many where this is concerned. But again, this is going back to two things. This is a slow process, it's not instant. If you want it instant, you will just take vinegar and you will pour it over whatever vegetables that you have and will pickle immediately. However, with this, you have to wait 2 3 days depending on where you are. And I've found that for Bombay weather, it gets done in 2 days. But otherwise, anywhere else, you'll have to wait for a little longer. What this essentially is it's a very simple pickle that is made using water, mustard, any vegetable of your choice, and just a little bit of salt, and that's all that there is in this Rai Panika achar. So I'm going to quickly show you how we make this, and then we can come back and do the question answers. That's okay, no? You'll have to stop the screen sharing.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
You show how to make the achar, no? I'm writing it down. Oh, yeah.
I'll send you the recipe. Don't worry. Okay. Most important, we need a clean glass jar for this. I have got some veggies over here. Today I'm using carrots and a few green chilies today, but feel free to use whatever you like. A slightly more hard vegetable like a carrot or radish best with this. I have tried it with zucchini like you saw in the picture. However, the issue with that is that it becomes soft or will like we say in Amchigala too soon, and then it's no fun. But with carrots, it retains the crunch. So just stuff the carrots into your glass jar. Stuff in as many or as little as possible. There are a lot of possibilities with this pickle. A friend of mine who taught me how to make this, she makes it even using something as simple as boiled potatoes, and she finds that the mustard and the boiled potatoes work really well. She also recommended that suran, boiled suran, works well too. So really, I mean, experimenting is a good idea. What we will also use here, I have got is some mustard, regular mustard that I've just pounded with a little bit of salt. If you have ready-made mustard powder, you can use that as well. So just say about half a spoon of this goes into this, and we top it with water. Okay, you'll have to just ensure that the water comes just till the surface, not more. Make sure that the water is not till the yeah. Now leave this. Start noticing a lot of bubbles that happen over here, and
Okay.
Hello, break zala, break.
1 minute, 1 minute.
Okay, okay. I thought it's for me only. Internet connection.
Renuka is muted, I think. Renuka is muted herself. So that's why. I think the camera angle is changed.
Ye bamun.
Yes, that is my bumon. Okay, so I hope you all were able to see this. So this is the pickle that I just showed you the rai pani ka achar. I will send the recipe via WhatsApp. Anybody
Renuka, what did you do? You put the water till the surface, you said, and then
yeah.
the video went off, actually.
Okay. I put the water till the surface and just shut
Okay.
it. So then you leave it out in the sun for leave this out in the sun for about 2 days. You'll see bubbles appearing over here, and that's when you'll know it's done. You just open it and you'll see that the smell has changed. You'll get a very fermented, slightly mustardy smell. Then put it in the fridge after that and use it. I mean, you can use it as a pickle, you can use it as a side, you can, use it in a sandwich, anything. So that's
So there is no salt in that, is it?
very little salt. There's
Oh,
just
salt
very
is there.
little salt. Yeah. When I pounded the mustard, I used a little bit of salt to pound the mustard. because otherwise it becomes bitter.
You're keeping it in the sun, Renuka?
Just keep it out on your windowsill.
Okay, not like terrace, like that
No,
kind
no,
of
no,
sun.
no, 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 no. If you do, it'll get done in half day.
Chennai, I think I can try that.
Yeah. Chennai, you can try.
So you need to slit the chilies.
No, I haven't split the chili. I have just left the chili
Okay,
as it is. But if you like a little bit of spice, then you can just bruise the chili, just dhadao it a little bit.
Okay,
It'll
okay,
work.
okay. Good. Thank you. Very nice. Seems very tempting.
Simple.
Yeah, it's very simple.
But that stiffness of carrot remains, is it? Or the carrot doesn't become
It's
velveda?
very crunchy. So that's why I said, use something like a carrot or radish because it remains crunchy. If you can use cucumber or I've tried it with zucchini, it becomes looking like kapshan type.
Oh,
But small
wonderful, yeah.
onions you can use, huh? You can use make it with the small onions also, no?
Yeah, you can make it with small onions also. If you
Can
want
we
to
make?
add some garlic,
Can
you
we
can.
use? Can we use tendli?
Yes, you can. It is very yummy with
Yeah.
tenli.
Yeah.
Sounds
Yeah.
great.
And mix. If you mix carrot and tendli, it will be better.
Yeah. So in my fridge back home, I have one which has carrot, it has radish, it has some tenli. So whenever I'm like we're going traveling somewhere and we like there's like some 2, 3 beans or whatever, this is what I do and I put it in the fridge.
But how long does it last in the fridge? Like,
This should be okay for a month, not more than that. But
meaning,
the water that you have, the brine that you have, you can just continue pickling in that. Unless it becomes, if you see that it becomes cloudy or something, then you have to change it. But if it's clear, it's fine.
okay. Nice. Very interesting.
Yes, so I am done.
Okay, thank you very much. It's so easy here. I mean, Raipani ka achar.
Yeah.
Only rye can be used, is it? Nothing else.
Yeah, so
And
rye
you can't-
actually activates the fermentation, no? So
Ah,
that's why
okay.
we use rye.
Okay.
Renuka,
But
I
you
just
can-
want to.
Yeah.
Hello, Renuka.
Hi.
If you put vinegar in this instead of water, you
Huh.
can preserve it for longer time, right?
Yes, you can. You can.
And but if you put just water, you cannot keep it for a long time.
You
Because
can.
water,
Yeah, you can. But that's why you're putting the mustard in it, no? So that
but
it.
how much time you can expect?
Yeah,
this to
vinegar
keep?
is a preservative also.
Yeah,
Yeah, vinegar is a preservative.
Malari, just utkangalari, you cannot
Yeah.
keep it more than 1 month, I suppose.
No, you can keep it more than 1 month.
If you want
But
to keep it
vinegar is
longer time,
synthetic
another-
also.
If you're putting it in vinegar, then you can keep it for a very long time because vinegar is, like Pachi said, a preservative and vinegar doesn't really spoil. So you can actually keep it forever. Nothing will happen.
And otherwise, you have to keep it in the fridge, isn't it?
Better to keep it in the fridge because like in the heat in say Bombay or Chennai or
Yes.
something, it'll get spoiled very fast. And more than getting spoiled, it'll over ferment. So you'll get like this very sour smell. That's when you know that it's off.
Oh. But vinegar is good for health, is it? Fermenting, vinegar is good, or vinegar is.
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we make our own vinegar at home.
Oh, you make vinegar also at
That's
home.
important, no? Because you can't use that synthetic vinegar. And,
Yeah.
that's
We use
not
our own. We make our own vinegar. It's very easy to make vinegar.
Have a recipe.
To make
Huh?
Recipe.
So, see, vinegar is like, okay, very simply, vinegar is wine which has gone bad. So, if you are attempting to
Oh.
make wine or you have a bottle of wine which has been kept for a very long time, you'll find that it's too, again, it's very sour. So, that's when it's become vinegar. But easiest vinegar to make is, what is it? Pineapple vinegar.
Pineapple.
Yeah, because the pineapple skin has bacteria which will help fermentation.
Oh,
So you can just put water, sugar, pineapple peels, and maybe some 2-3 pineapple pieces for the flavor, and just keep it aside. Just shake it up once in 2-3 days. There's something called burping because fermentation releases gases, right? So you have to open the lid, just release the gas and put it back.
भरपूरच नवीन पडलं अशी
Nice, sir.
हेल्थ
Very,
लायक
very
असल्या
nice.
पाहिजे ना.
But pineapple, you have to remove the skin, na? Only the pulp you have to put, is it, Renuka?
You use a combination of both.
Oh, acha, including skin.
Yeah, skin is the main part.
Oh, acha. But it has thorns and all, no? I mean, so, I mean, like,
So
thorny
what-
part is that.
So
throw it
when you want to use it, you'll filter it and then keep it aside and then use.
Oh, acha. So the real this thing is in the skin. I mean, the.
Yeah. It's for the pineapple, it's in the skin. But if you're
Oh.
making say apple vinegar, then you need what they call a mother. It's called a mother. So you need that mother. So if you buy apple cider vinegar in the market, you see that it says apple cider vinegar with mother. So that mother is like it's like a skin.
Residue.
Yeah. It's like a skin of bacteria that you have to add into the whole.
Oh,
So what is
wonderful.
the
Yeah.
proportion of water for pineapple?
Very
vinegar?
hardly
I sent it to you.
Wrong झालं काय ना.
I think we should all go and stay with Renuka for 1 month. So we will learn a lot of things.
Yeah. Very,
yeah.
very interesting thing.
Very interesting part. Yeah.
Renuka, I have one question. What is sure that राई पाणी तसनं कारण तो आमसाण ना ने not आमशे.
I'm Shazat
Oh, because of fermentation. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because you have not added any limbu or anything.
Nothing. Not required.
You use the normal mustard, no? Or the white
Yeah,
mustard?
your normal black mustard. That's what I
झाडानं.
down. Yes.
Or powdered.
And if you have the powdered mustard, you can use that also.
नाही मिक्सरान घालून पावडर करून करू शकतो
Yeah, but
मस्टर्ड
if you're using इतलेच यूज करू मिक्सरान घालूक जायना न्ही ते.
अच्छा नाही करून दवरल्यार न्ही थोड्यांची
कोण दवरले?
हय.
And to add flavor, we can use ginger also little.
Yeah. Use whatever you want.
I love ginger. That's why. Okay.
Use whatever you want. Ginger, garlic,
Renuka,
Even methi, fennel seeds, fenugreek, sorry.
fenugreek.
That also we can add, right?
Yeah, that was.
आमची sasam आणि methi घालून.
Bye.
Methi.
Yeah,
It's okay if you do that, right?
Yeah.
Renuka, एक म्हाका नेंगूच अशें
Huh.
in this project,
Hmm.
you get a better taste for your food and probiotic, what you say. As you to call nutritional value increase to like vitamins or something.
So yes, you do get a lot of nutritional value, but the nutritional value is more to do with the good bacteria rather than just your vitamins. See, your carrots already have vitamins, right? In
Okay.
it. Carrot has vitamin A, if I'm not mistaken. A, yeah. So that is intact. You're not doing anything to the carrot. I think you're not boiling it or anything. You're just preserving it so that you're locking in the nutrition actually. Yeah, it enhances the nutrition.
And the prebiotical, what job does that do? You were telling
So
about that.
that starts the whole. It kind of, I mean, to tell you very simply, it gets the bacteria activated
Going.
or excited. Yeah. So
And
yeah, like
probiotic calms it
yeah,
down. Probiotic calms it down, like.
No. Probiotic is the actual bacteria, is the good bacteria. So probiotic is like a direct, you're giving it directly.
Okay.
Prebiotic is you're starting the process.
Oh, okay. Fine, okay.
But Renuka, how to find out good bacteria and bad bacteria? There are bad bacteria also, no?
Yeah, bacteria are bad. You have a lot
So
of
how-
bad bacteria.
So is good bacteria for my body will be a bad bacteria for your body? Is it varies from
It
the?
is possible. It is possible,
Oh.
right? Because what works for you might not work for you.
Oh, so how to identify that? Then everybody has to, I think, understand
You
it
have to
properly.
just try what works for you because a lot of us might even have certain dietary restrictions, or we've chosen to have certain dietary restrictions. So we have to keep
Allergies.
all of that. Yeah, we have allergies. So we have to keep all that in mind.
नाही थोड्या जणांक
With yourself.
सुरणाची एलर्जी असता.
Why?
Listening to the gut comes in. This is where it comes in, no? Like,
Yeah.
Nice. Sir.
Renuka, what's the name of that book by the Vietnamese monk?
It's called Savor. SAVR.
Savor.
Yeah.
Okay.
Essay what? Essay?
SAVOR. Savor.
Okay.
Name of the book is Savor.
And who's the author?
I'll send you the link.
Yeah.
Yeah, send a link on this. This is very, very interesting.
Fantastic session, Renuka. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
very short
It
and
was
so
so
sweet.
interesting. Very interesting. Very different.
I'm sorry, my internet is like funny.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, ani kodake
Thank
kale
you,
nimbun chesva.
very nice.
Anybody wants to ask? Hekash kurchan, takash kurchan. Medili veda nimbun gayati.
असे एक बेकरीचे एक सेशन केलेलं आहे.
There's the bread man.
Oh,
होय, ताकदे
that's
एक
Asim,
Hey,
is it?
bread man ake introduce kariye છે ને?
We can make donuts at home.
बेकिंग कारी एक सेशन करूया.
Renuka,
Yeah, yeah.
Say hi. Hello, Brett.
Hey, hi.
Hi, hi, Asim.
We want one session on baking.
They want a session on baking.
Okay, I'll do it.
Oh, fantastic.
You know to make
Because
donuts?
baking also requires some bacteria, no enzymes.
Yeah, yeast. Yeah.
Yeast is there.
yeast.
That'll be very
Sorry,
interesting
yeast.
baking session. Yeah.
Of course, we are not well versed in that. Yeast you require.
I
No?
was not well versed to tell you. Travel went up because of the lockdown. I needed to keep myself busy and so I didn't have to get the header and to leave something. I needed something for myself as well. So I took a bread baking course and
Wow.
started something which I never thought I would actually do. I can appreciate food. I like the food that she makes. I do the PR for her food. But I don't know, maybe it's laziness or what. I find it very overwhelming. I can't cook myself.
Anyway, nice meeting you. Nice meeting you. Asim. Okay. Okay, any questions to Renuka? Then we can.
Yeah.
I
Renuka,
can
I
sit.
just want to ask you one thing.
Yes, yes.
आमचे गेल्यान पळय मीठ टाकायची म्हणटाची लायक साल आंबो
Amle.
वगैरे पाचपोण असो
Where?
ताजी गोद जुकरची काय तरी मीठ टाकायची आणि इतकं
आता
preserve
भूक
for years
लागत
to come.
We love that.
Don't worry, tomorrow Suresh will start posting all the food.
My God, he's
Telling Renuka about Suresh's projects.
I know there are
you
four
guys
things.
solid.
One is
Suresh Sadar.
कीर्लू साल
Kirlu.
मागीर पाचपोण असो आणि आंबोली ह्या मीठ घालताची आणि ताका भोगतो जुकरताची
Why?
Gozu.
So it's somewhat like same, I would say.
Kirlu.
Suresh ma'am, I heard about all the fitness and the training that you do. It sounds very interesting.
All-rounder.
Even the millet video. Because I'm a big fan of
रेखा आणि सुभाष दादान परफेक्ट इंट्रोडक्शन दिलेलं लागलं बरोबर.
Actually, we didn't record. I don't think we recorded Suresh's sessions. I don't know. I need to see if we still recorded it.
What?
कावळ रेकॉर्ड
Record केलं का मी?
ना कावळ नाशिलम गला
नाशिल आहे.
केवळ नाश.
रेकर मामागल आणि जायशील चल तावळच्या नाशिल आहे. त्यांनी विचारतात.
So we will have one more session by public.
Okay. कोणाले questions असतात आणि की we can. I'll say thanks to
ए
Renuka and.
हॅपी बर्थडे सुवर्ण.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, happy
GPSM लाईक अक्तूक मस्त आणि जीपी हेल्थ लाईक मस्त
Yeah.
शुभेच्छा.
शुभेच्छा.
I'm so lucky. सगळेजण इथं राहतात. Very much thanks for happy birthday. I'm very lucky. Thank you.
Okay, आजची session बोगम झाला. रेणुका, thanks a lot to all the way from Bangalore राहिले आम काय करूं का बॉम्बे तानु. So we take it that way, like, okay. So mindful eating, I mean बोगम झाला. I mean like it's a very learning session and to understand different dimensions of food. Kalkaltin Sangla, I mean we were not aware of a lot of things. So
Yeah.
it was very very informative and very educative. more attentive. What we had to, I think she gave messages five tanu or ashtan tum javtana little be more attentive. Kal khata sati, kal khata sati. Suno, remember Renuka. So you know, so no, really, because a lot of things we take for granted. आम्ही जेवताना तिने भोग आमटे एक्झाम्पल दिला. आम्ही देवाला नाव घेतात ती वदनी कवर्ण घेता आणि सगळं. तो कल खातीर म्हणारी because those 1 minute, that 1 minute at least we are thinking of. आमगल माइंड चिके डायवर्ट जायना. You know, is focusing on food. So that's very important point. So we should do that more attentively. And be aware of what you're eating. Sabun khaya, tikil pati, like, you know, she said, absolutely pay attention so that, you know, the food gets proper nutrition in your body. So thank you very much, Renuka. And तुमकाले questions असल्यारे रेणू कितले दिवस असले बँगलोर?
Return ticket.
Okay. No. Okay. So anyway, Renu, I'm just joking, but Renuka is in Bombay, so we can always approach her. And I think Renuka is very open for all any type of questions and on fermentation. Article that dosa padele, you know, dosa, how to make different type of dosas. It was a wonderful session, really. And we go on to that. So तुम कले का असले अरे रेणुका निगे थी. Renuka, thanks a lot. देव तुगल बरे करो. God bless you and Asim for, you know, giving us your time and efforts and all arranging all this. Thank you very much. God bless.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, Rekha and Subhash Dada, for organizing this GP Health. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Rekha. Thank you, Eknath.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, Suresh.
Bye.
Bye, Prakash. Bye, Shobha. कशी आहेस गं, शोभा? Late आहे.
हुशारच राहिली मग 6:30 म्हणलं
हो, अच्छा.
Recording also.
Suresh, तू एक अशी सेशन घ्या. Suresh, you can start one session like this. Revision 1.
Suresh Dada, he can shoot his whole session on his terrace. Suresh Dada.
सुरेश तू इम्प्रोवाइज करून फायदो पण आमकां
रिविजन 1 म्हणतात.
फाईव्ह 4-5 स्पीकर
काय 2 फोटो येतात पाहता.
चलो मिळूया. ओके. बाय.
Bye.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Asha. Bye, Chitra.
या बाय
Bye, Suvarna. Happy birthday again. Bye.
Happy birthday. Enjoy.
Hey, Shalin Pachi. Bye. Shalin Pachi. Sorry.
Thank you, sir.
म्यूट असो
Shalin Pachi mute us. Okay. चलो. Bye.
बाय
Bye.
कसं बंद करायचं?
Oma.
कुठे टाकू?
Unlocked.